Boop, 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 boop. This is me being balls before the show. Boop, boop, boop.
I was dancing. I wasn't doing this though.
Nah, you're more like
this is what I did because I waited for 10 minutes backstage while you played on your phone, and I could hear the music, but apparently you couldn't hear me talking to you.
No, I didn't have my volume on.
Yeah. No, yeah. So I could see your head down playing your little lotto games or whatever, and I'm just doing.
It's not one.
And I'm texting you, going,
the slot machine.
Whatever.
And I wasn't playing that lotto games. My 80 lotto games.
Lotto, luck, games of chance, things that get you.
What's going on, Jaden?
Things that get you discounts in Las Vegas. Whatever.
Yeah, okay, Vegas games. Thank you. Yeah.
I know you play those, and I know you were just sitting there, even as I was texting you, going, "Why do you hate me? Why aren't you?"
And that has nothing to do with me not letting you in the room.
And then you would still look down at your phone when it would ding, and then nothing would happen.
Yeah, glad you guys have been ahead of the having a single word name game for years now. Oh, yeah. We're going to cover that, my friend.
Good.
We're covering that. Too. Yeah. Nathan, good to see you as well. Your interactions very much welcome here on the Low Blow. We might need your interactions. Balls may need your interactions as I'm too busy playing my game, which was a Funko game. Thank you very much.
It was. It had music that reminded me of stuff like slot machines.
No, you would know the slot machine apps because you'd hear the rattling of the change, and ching, 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 because I hit it big, baby.
More importantly, what kind of Funko game?
It's like I guess like Bejeweled, but it's a brand new Funko game. And right now they have a Universal Monsters seasonal mode. Makes
sense.
So I'm trying to get Frankenstein.
As you should.
Right. I mean, I already have the Wolfman and I already have Dracula. But Frankenstein's the big bad there, so.
Gotcha. All right.
And I was just reading this week, and this blows my mind. But Frankenstein is the number one most feared monster. If movie monsters were real, Frankenstein or Frankenstein's monster is number one. And that.
Out of all of them? Or is
I know, right?
A category. I feel although I can't think of any, there have to be way scarier monsters.
I talked about this on my radio show at 977 WQLZ. And I asked, thank you. And I asked people, I'm like, if these movie monsters were real, who would you be afraid of? Me, I'd be like Pinhead, from the Hellraiser movies. But almost unanimously, everybody said Freddy Krueger. So I'm like, where the hell does Frankenstein come from?
Right. I feel maybe it was, I don't know. I feel maybe it was based more on classic monsters and not.
No, because number 2 was Ghostface from the Scream movies.
That's a dude in a mask. That's legit real now.
I know, but that's why I guess I don't find it that scary. I'm like,
that's what I'm saying. I'm if it was real, you can go put a mask on and kill people now. That's not hard.
No. And so Frankenstein. It's.
I mean, giant monster, lightning bolt in his neck, or lightning.
Right. Ghostface is so scary. Yeah. He's a part of Halloween Havoc.
It's true.
Or she's a part of Halloween Havoc.
I read that.
We don't know. I guess we'll find out.
No,
we'll find out. But before we get to 6 things, and then Ball's got some random headlines and topics that caught his eye over the course of the week. Nathan says Mike Myers is human. Makes him scarier than a super. I disagree with that.
I tend to agree with it, depending on the supernatural thing.
All right, well, you guys are both idiots. It's fine.
Because if they're real, then the Ghostbusters are real. So I'm pretty sure they can just zap them, put them in a containment unit, and be done.
I don't know. I'd say we just bring them all to life, and let's see who wins.
All of them.
Yeah.
All of the monsters.
Let's see a human beat these supernatural guys. All right, let's see it happen. All right.
What about space?
So we got 6 things. We're going to talk, of course, Halloween Havoc. We're going to talk Hell in a Cell and whatever else. But before that, something I didn't get to do last week. If you're new to the Low Blow and you're new to the live streams of the Low Blow, you may not be aware that we actually have an expert on this show. That gentleman right there, he is an expert in action figure packaging.
It's a nice way to put it.
Action figure packages, not packaging, packages. So he's looking at action figure groins, and he's really good with that. And because he's an expert, recently he challenged me to challenge him.
Ooh, yeah, all right.
So we haven't done this in a while, but Ballz, are you ready to guess that groin?
I am. Oh, that's so generic. Holy crap.
Stare intently. Look at that bulge, buddy. See if you can recognize that bulge. If anybody's out there, if you want to help take a guess, you want to help Ballz out, even though he's an expert. Say there's not a huge round lump there, so it's not somebody it's not Lance Storm.
No, and I would argue that you don't own a Lance Storm action figure.
That would be correct.
I could be
but
serious.
I'll give you a hint. All right.
Ooh,
I want to help you out with this one here.
I appreciate it.
It's a dude.
I appreciate that so much.
So it's not Tamina.
No, not Tamina.
I'll tell you, it's not Edge. Okay, I'll give you another hint. This is actually part of a 2-pack, and both of them are more old school stars.
Okay, it did look like in more old school body type. So that.
Do you like how fancy I've made this game, by the way?
Yes. I appreciate the lights around it. Has my name with a Z in cursive, which is crazy.
I went all out with this one. I mean, I found like one of the ugliest fonts I could find and everything.
No, yeah, you totally did. Oh man.
All right, so the 2-pack of figures, I don't know if this was ever like a wildly popular 2-pack, but it was. If it was because of the other star in this 2-pack who's no longer with us.
No longer with us, as in living?
Yes. It's not Gargano or Iron Man.
Iron Man, not with us. He sacrificed himself at the end of Endgame.
I would pour one out for my homie, but I'm paid for this. No.
But I'm thirsty. I was originally thinking that it was the 2-pack for Ricky the Dragon Steamboat and Jericho, but when you said not with us, AEW, not with us as in dead. Man.
I'm glad we don't have a timer on this. I mean, we could do this for the next 20 minutes. I mean, that's fine.
But we shouldn't. That's not really great content.
Well, that depends on how good you are talking about action figure groin.
Yeah, it's like the process of elimination for action figure groin. Crap. I
thought you were an expert, buddy.
I believe you called me an expert after I got the first one right.
And you run an action figure toy podcast.
I do run an action figure toy podcast that's on hiatus because of COVID. But at no point do we discuss action figure groins.
It's just something you absorb. You absorb the groin.
Absorb the groin.
Yeah.
Oh man. All right.
Like when we were kids growing up, like Hulkamania era.
That's what I figure. Yeah. I'm wondering if it's the Iron Sheik.
It is not the Iron Sheik. I'll give you one more guess, and then we officially move on.
All right. It's not. Okay, it's not Piper.
It's not Seth. No.
No. He said it was more old school.
Billy Business there is correct. Yeah. Action figures don't take breaks. Balls.
What's the A stand for?
What does the A stand for, Billy?
Man, I don't. Crap.
The other half is the Ultimate Warrior.
Warrior.
Yeah. So
And
I'm basically giving it away. I'm giving you this groin, Balls.
you are.
You're
Giving me the groin, and I'm trying.
I'm giving you this hard plastic.
Who Ultimate Warrior was in a 2-pack with that? I mean, it's not Macho Man.
No.
And it's not Hogan.
No. And it's not Lance Storm.
And it's definitely not Lance Storm. Who would Warrior have been in a 2-pack with? It's not like a Rick Rude, because those are some generic tights.
No, he would not be dare seen in something like that.
Keep wanting to go with it's the Red Rooster, but that's not even a figure that exists.
That is technically incorrect. It does exist.
It's not a Mattel.
It was a Target exclusive. It was a WWE Legends. I almost bought it for Greg the Sound Guy.
Okay, you know what? I actually remember that now. Oh, man. All right, Warrior. A+ balls I'm doing while multitasking. Yeah,
I like that. We need more good. Balls grief.
I appreciate that one. That's good.
I'm going to work on that terminology there. Yeah. But all right, make a guess, buddy. You're stretching out this segment way too long.
I am. I know. It's so bad. Brutus the Barber Beefcake.
No.
Honky Tonk Man. Damn it.
It was the Honky Tonk Man. Man. I'm good. I'm bad. I'm whatever. I don't know. I wish
you would have just told me it was this guy we met when we were like.
I would have given that away. Why would I give that away to you, jerk? I gave you enough hints. I'm like, it's a dude. It's an old dude.
Well, I know. We met both guys in that 2-pack.
I know. And you killed one of them.
The one that's dead.
That's what you get for trying to check your phone during the show. You're like, all right. Yeah, I guess Cena and Volkov. Daniel Bishop, at least in the right era there.
Right era, yeah.
All right.
There's a part of me that's okay with not knowing Honky Tonk's groin.
Yeah, play it off. Yeah, you're supposed to be the expert.
So, not even self-proclaimed. Self-put upon expert?
Self-proclaimed expert. And you're failing.
I did.
You're failing our fans, Balls, and I don't like that. All right, moving on. 6 things on my mind.
All right.
Whoa. Reigns. Which, by the way, I gotta get. Okay, now I got our thing back. All right.
There you go.
All right. Whoa. It's like riding a roller coaster and saying his name at the same time, which I'm sure some women would say that is the case.
I was going to say that Hell in the Cell match was kind of like a roller coaster.
And that's what I was going to say. And this is leading into our Hell in a Cell talk right here. Roman impressed the hell out of me Sunday night with the acting, him being pissed, him crying in the ring, and then coming back around like.
I mean, obviously it wasn't legit with how it all ended, but man, like you felt emotional turmoil. Like he was like, I don't know who I am anymore. And, he's in like a ball, almost like in the fetal position, like sitting in the fetal position next to the Usos. And he's like, I just don't know who I am. And then a split second later, he's just like, boom. And you're like, oh.
I was impressed to hell. I mean, I know some people have been Roman fatigued over the years, and I get that. I understand. I mean, when he was a generic face with no development, that is what happened. Same thing happened to Cena, Hogan over the years. I mean, like so many examples of that. But his heel turn has been phenomenal, and this depth of acting, holy crap! He really does want to compete with The Rock, doesn't he?
I was going to say, that short stint on whatever Fast and Furious spinoff he was a part of, he learned something.
Hobbs and Shaw.
Yes, Hobbs and Shaw. He learned something.
Because that's one of the 2 Fast and Furious movies, sort of, kind of, that I've seen.
Oh, I have not seen that one yet.
I've seen the first one, and then Hobbs and Shaw. I skipped everything between.
Well, don't worry. It's no longer about street racing.
And that's fine. That's fine. But, I mean, Roman's impressive. I give him credit for that. I thought that was a solid Hell in a Cell match, different than what we usually get from Hell in a Cell matches, but I'm fine with that. I thought Sasha and Bayley crushed it. I thought that was actually the best of the Cell matches that night.
And which is saying something. And I don't want to. come across as bashing the other women's Hell in a Cell matches, but I felt like this is the best women's Hell in a Cell match we've seen.
I remember a couple years ago, it was Charlotte and Sasha in a cell, and that was really good too. But I think these two want to continue raising that bar and trying new things. I would say the women in WWE stole every pay-per-view this week.
You can't argue with that, really. No,
but that was the best one. It was actually McIntyre and Orton, which I thought was the lamest of the Hell in a Cells, and it's not because I'm not a huge Orton fan, but it was a tough act to follow. You had the best story in Roman and Jey Uso, and then you had the best match in Sasha Bailey. You just had the championship switch in the main event. And this leads me to sixth thing number 2, Hell in a Cell, fall off the wall. I am tired of that spot. I am so tired of that.
I read that he wanted to do it because HBK did it in the first Hell in a Cell. So he wanted to mimic that, which, all right, whatever. But yeah, at this point, we'll never see anyone fly off the top again.
And that's fine.
No, and that's what I'm saying. They'll never do. I don't think they'll ever really do that spot, the Mick Foley style. Maybe the Shane style, where you land on a bag on a table. Sure, but
they all fall from the same spot now onto the table, and when you see them fighting in that spot, there is no surprise whatsoever, other than who's gonna do it.
Yeah. I'd love for them to make it all the way down, and then the people be like shocked that no one fell. Like, that would be the best.
Right? They just climb back up and then they climb back down peacefully.
Yeah. You make it all the way.
I'm tired of the spot. I mean, it's cool that Drew did it, wanted to pay homage, but so many of them have done and paid homage over the years that it's just, there's got to be a new creative spot somewhere that doesn't involve falling down off of it or through it.
Yeah. No,
or into a truck with some bales of hay in the back, a la Rikishi.
Rikishi, yes. Absolutely.
For The Rock. Which I do hate that Hell in a Cell is remembered for that moment when you had like The Rock and Kurt Angle, and you had so many. It was an awesome match.
It was.
That's the moment people remember from it.
Yeah. I don't even remember why there was a truck there besides to catch Rikishi, because that was the only reason. But I don't remember storyline why there was a truck full of hay there. But
I don't know either, but it just, I'm tired of that spot. But Hell in a Cell overall was not that bad. I mean, it may not have been the most exciting of matches or of cards, but it really wasn't bad either, though. I mean, that's the thing, is it was comfortable. The Hell in a Cells got to stretch out the length of matches, and your favorite, your boy Elias, walking away with the victory. Actually, did he win? I don't even remember. I'm gonna be honest. I don't.
No, didn't Jeff Hardy win?
I don't know. Elias won my heart, though.
He did what to your heart?
He won my heart.
Well, he won your heart. No, he can have your heart. It's fine.
Yeah, being through into the, ain't nobody gonna do that right now either.
Yeah.
At least if you do that, that's something we haven't seen in a while. But
I want to see him throw through the
right now, like with that fall.
I want the top wall portion to give way. Like, you go up and then over. Like that I haven't seen yet.
Yeah, I don't know. It's do you think 3 cell matches are too much? Like, should there just be one, or is that unfair to the other feuds? Like, should it be one per brand? I mean, what are your thoughts on that?
I just want it to make sense storyline wise.
Okay.
Like Sasha Bailey, I felt built a long story. Like, this has been going off and on for a long time. This was a good payoff, Hell in a Cell. Roman Uso. Realistically, you could have done that match anything. It didn't have to be Hell in a Cell to get the I quit part of it. Could have literally been any other kind of match.
All right.
And Orton McIntyre, yeah, they had some matches back and forth, but it didn't quite need to go to Hell in a Cell yet. But I get it.
Yeah.
I guess the number really doesn't matter to me as long as storyline-wise it makes sense. And the danger you run into with the 3 or even more than that would be interesting spots that don't get repeated over and over again. And the cell's not getting damaged because it needs to work for the next couple Hell in a Cell matches. That would blow my mind if it got half damaged in like the first match and then it just sat half damaged for the rest of the pay-per-view.
Oh my God, that'd be amazing.
Right? We're like, you're locked in except for that gaping hole.
That I would love that. I mean, to me, and that's realistic as well.
Mm-hmm.
That actually shows a bit of unpredictability there.
Yeah.
Like when the announcers have their table demolished and they can't fix it during commercial break and they have to sit there.
Yeah.
It obviously not the same, but the same principle. And I like that at least there's consequences and it's not just fixed like that.
Yeah. We didn't have a spare table waiting.
Yeah. All right. So before we move on to the one thing, I want to burst WWE's bubble.
Uh-oh.
Actually, sorry, I screwed that up. Sorry. I hate to burst WWE's balloon. WWE's number one enemy, and I figured this out. Inflatables.
Ooh.
Yeah. I mean, look at Halloween Havoc this week. Johnny Gargano.
Yeah.
Taking out the giant pumpkin.
Yep.
Bailey.
Oh, she destroyed all those wavy tube men.
Cesaro kicking the beach ball when that was like the number one face in the company every single live event.
The beach ball was? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I remember that.
What does WWE have against balloons and inflatables?
I don't know. I bet if it was a WWE licensed balloon or inflatable, they'd be fine with it.
Like if it was a John Cena balloon. Who would dare try to pop that sumbitch?
Everybody.
Happy birthday on December 4th. That's a long time out, buddy. I'm not going to remember that.
You know how many episodes we have between now and December 4th?
Like 2.
At least 4-ish.
If we show up, and that's a big if.
Sure.
All right, so everybody watch out for balloons in WWE. They hate them. Do not bring them like, congratulations, WWE, on a great whatever, and then don't give them balloons. Don't do it.
Especially if it's a heel that's out there.
Yeah, just don't do that.
Yeah.
How happily Halloween Havoc happened.
That's a lot of H's.
I kind of feel like William Shatner. How happily Halloween Havoc happened.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Some good pacing.
Balloon floats, means they go over. They go over things. WWE hates it when things get over on their own. He figured it out. You figured it out.
Oh, man. If this show had a no prize, you would have won it.
Right. And Jane says it's in 2 months, but really it's only in 1 month.
Yeah. Like this month ends in like a day.
Yeah. Yeah. So Jaden, are you drunk right now, Jaden? And if so, does that make our show better? I think that's a legit question. Halloween Havoc. I loved it. Oh my God, did I love Halloween Havoc this week?
I enjoyed most of it. Yeah.
I enjoyed most of it. What didn't you enjoy there? Go ahead.
Well, okay. I thought the Haunted House of Terror match was stupid. But
you're stupid.
Caveat, if any guys could pull that match off, it's Dexter Lumis and Cameron Grimes. Like I totally get that. Cameron Grimes. I'm very scared. Cameron Grimes.
So yeah, my one issue with that, as you know, was Cameron Grimes. But like Dexter, I didn't know you had a sister. Like in the shower, he's about to go in there with his pants on. Who does that?
Yeah, and so wow, it was just so weird.
Yeah, he's in this haunted house, and he's gonna be like, you know what? I'm gonna take a break, and I'm gonna have sex.
Right? It was like, I bet he brought his sister to a fist fight.
I mean, and that's one of the reasons I love Cameron Grimes as a character, because he's an idiot. But
straight to the moon.
So yeah, I could see why that wasn't everybody's cup of tea. I think the editing was a little too
Yeah.
But otherwise, Shotzi Blackheart, perfect in that role.
But she was good.
Yeah,
I could have used her talking a little more. She didn't really host much of anything. She
hosted more than the WrestleMania hosts do.
That is a fact. Yes. That's 100% accurate on that one. Totally.
I remember like when the New Day hosted and they came out like twice in the whole like 5-hour program. I like the costume changes. I'm a little on Twitter. We promoted that you were going to be wearing her first outfit, but I don't see that on you.
I did not get that memo.
You were tagged in the tweet, so that's good enough.
Yeah, totally didn't see that. I apologize.
All right. We're even now for me not letting you in the room quicker.
I don't know. We're going to have to try to find some show budget for me to buy it on eBay, I guess.
Just make your own. That's fine.
I'll get on that.
I thought she was great. Rhea and Gonzalez, as Brian says, has hell of a match. I agree with that. Easily Raquel Gonzalez's best showing to date.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I thought that was good. And then, Damian Priest Gargano wasn't bad, but I don't think this is Damian Priest's, it's not his strong suit. I think he's a better in-ring competitor. Yeah. So I don't know if he's got that creativity or they don't write him to be, I don't know, but it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. It was still entertaining. And I do like that they were trashing so much of the set early on.
Right. And it stayed that way. Like he got hit with a freaking tombstone. Yeah,
that was kind of cool. And we don't know who the ghost face is, which you thought it would be Candace for Johnny and then Johnny for Candace later. We didn't get an unveiling yet, so that mystery continues, which gives them the option to have it be somebody else. So, we could see that. And then, of course, the main event, Io Shirai and Candice LeRae, which with Poppy performing Io's or doing a song for Io on the way out, Johnny winning earlier in the night, it just all added up. Yeah. For Candice LeRae, she lost.
Yeah. No, man, I thought she died. That last spot where she fell and then went through a ladder, and I went, ooh, you don't bend like that. I'm like, okay, she's not getting up. She did.
And that's something like you see the male wrestlers, you see the stars, the male stars doing spots like that all the time. We've seen Edge and Sheamus and so many of these guys. Sin Cara has gone through that ladder, but the women, they don't normally take such an extreme bump like that. So it was refreshing to see a woman get her ass kicked. Not like that. Not
like that. But no, it was good. It was a surprise ending. I thought it was a foregone conclusion that LeRae was winning.
Especially with her husband winning earlier in the night.
Yeah, I mean, it was so different. I mean, obviously, you and I talked, and we thought it made more sense for Candace to win and then for Johnny to be the helper. But now you have Johnny winning. He's just going to gloat, and I just don't. My problem with the ending now is where does Candace go from that? Like, how many shots do you get at a title? I don't see how she could continue.
Oh, not literally. Where did she go? Because that would have been to the emergency room.
Yeah. Oh, yes, for sure. Where does she go storyline wise? Because this is like her third or fourth title opportunity. How do you justify getting more? I guess.
Well, not everybody needs to be in the title picture. I mean, obviously, we want to see her win that belt. But now's just not the time. Brian asked the question, where does Io go from here? I think Io's probably got more big match options than Candice does right now in the regards of we are 6 months away, give or take, from WrestleMania, 5-6 months, depending on how you look at it. Mm-hmm. So you got that. You could try to start building Rhea Ripley back up for that. Raquel Gonzalez is a heel. So I think we got those options there. where Candice, she's got a couple faces. Like you could build her and Rhea up, but I think Io and Rhea on a bigger stage, maybe a gimmick match, and not just to play second fiddle to the Queen Charlotte Flair could be good for business.
No, for sure. Absolutely. Dakota Kai's still around. Ember Moon is back. There are definitely options for Io Shirai.
Yeah, and who knows what else they have up their sleeve at this point.
Mm-hmm.
I say you bring Eva Marie back.
I say you should die in a fire.
Wow.
That was harsh. I apologize.
Ouch. At least let me live. Just I hope you burn in a fire or something. Come on, man.
Yeah.
Yeesh. All right.
If you teach a man to build a fire.
Ow.
Right. I'm sorry.
It gave me heartburn just thinking about it. 6 things on my mind. Riddle me this, Batman. And by riddle, I mean riddle.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yes.
So there's another guy that lost a name here recently.
Which is this one is probably out of all of them, the ones that, we talk about quite a bit. Rusev, Cesaro, Andrade,
Bono,
Madonna. This one makes the least amount of sense to me.
Ronaldo?
Soccer
player. Never mind. Damn American. All right. So, this one, it's not like there's a lot of other Matts on the roster we have to worry about. I remember when if you had a top star with a name on a show, you could not have an undercard star. William Regal was Steven Regal, and then oh wait, he's on the same show as Steve Austin.
Yeah.
And Steve Blackman at one time too, but so head cheese. Not enough head cheese references.
No, there aren't.
So you look at Raw, who you have Drew Gulak and Drew McIntyre.
Yeah.
So, I understand maybe you don't want to call him Gulak. I get that.
Yeah.
But Riddle. How long before they turn him into a Batman villain?
Which is great because in my notes, it just says Riddle. Now an enigma. I totally went with a Batman reference as well.
How do you not?
I don't understand it. Yes, that's a real thing. According to the website, his name has been removed.
Yeah, well, only at that part. If you look at the graphic, let me pull them back up. You look at the graphic, he's still got M. Riddle on his attire in the picture.
That's true.
And you read the articles, they still have him as Matt Riddle. So they didn't eliminate or go back and edit old postings.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see moving forward if they just refer to him as Riddle or not. Yeah. When does Drew just become McIntyre? That one, I guess, makes a little bit more sense than Matt Riddle, who you have a first name and a last name. You could put a nickname in there.
You could. Or to me, it doesn't make sense for Matt Riddle. He literally made his name somewhere else. Why take away a guy's name value?
Yeah.
And maybe they'd argue that, well, he still has Riddle. He does. But why take away any name value he has from UFC and MMA? That just doesn't make sense to me. Oh, he's a fighter. He's just his last name.
I'm curious, do they think that this is what's going to connect him better with the audience? Because when you do a name change like this, most of the time it's because they feel there's a disconnect there. And so they want to find a way, or maybe there's a bad stigma attached to it, like Mustafa Ali. Now he's back to that name, by the way, because they realized maybe we were being racist.
Yeah.
So, but Matt Riddle, why does Randy Orton and Triple H and all of these stars get a countless amount of nicknames?
Yeah.
And merchandising opportunities, and Matt Riddle loses his name?
Well, technically, he's still the original bro, right?
For now.
The article I read was Matt Riddle loses part of his name. I was like, is he just the bro, Matt Riddle? And it was no, we lost Matt. Oh, Well, that's way worse. Like,
You're gonna start calling him the OB, the original bro, but he's gonna be the OB. It's gonna be some horrible logo, and he's gonna have to be like, "Bro, I'm the OB," and then people are gonna wonder why he's not getting over. I don't know. I notice you're taking like more and more drinks as the show goes on.
I'm thirsty.
Yeah, apparently, yeah. All right, and so the last thing I got in my mind here.
Uh-oh.
A new COVID attendance record. So I didn't know if I had a window that I was originally going to share on this one, a news article about WrestleMania.
Okay.
But I didn't know if it was slowing down my my system or not. So I closed that window just in case. But basically, yeah, they're going to be performing WrestleMania right now is going to be at the same venue where the Super Bowl is going to be played. And the Super Bowl is going to allow about 14 to 16,000 people socially distanced, all in bubbles, all wearing masks.
Bubbles?
Bubbles. WWE won't allow that.
No.
But WWE, and this is in Florida, so WWE is hoping to get 20% of attendance, and the Super Bowl is not going upwards of that. So it's one of those, I see WWE trying to push the boundaries, and this is all, of course, in a hypothetical that in 6 months' time, Florida's in the exact same spot they're at right now.
Now, here's the question I have. Did you get confirmation that they're moving WrestleMania back to Florida? Because it's supposed to be in California. I did read somewhere that they wanted to move it and do it the same place it was supposed to be last year and go ahead and do it.
That's why I wanted to pull up. That's why I wanted the article here to be able to do those questions. So let me look that up on my phone.
On your phone.
On my phone.
Yeah.
And then after this, I can also then go back to my Funko game.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can.
Right.
I hope you're doing well at your Funko game. I hope you get your Frankenstein.
I'm trying to get Frankenstein. I really am. I'm trying to get there. All right. As Brian says, it is confirmed but unconfirmed.
Gotcha. Okay.
Which sounds about right. It's also the internet, so we're just going off of the same rumors and speculation everybody else is.
Yeah.
All right. I didn't realize this article was as deep as it was.
That's what she said.
Oh, I'm glad somebody took that opening.
That's what I'm here for. That's what she said.
Thank you. All right. Jesus. All right. It's gonna take me. This is gonna be like you trying to guess the groin, the action figure.
Yeah,
we're trying to find this article again. Okay, I found it.
Right. Maybe now we get Kevin Owens jumping off a pirate ship.
But at the same time, though, this becomes the Kofi Kingston Royal Rumble elimination thing that then KO needs to jump off a pirate ship every year.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
All right.
Ooh.
All right. So yeah.
Odd the Royal Rumble might be. It will be without a crowd or, a larger venue.
Or all the posted, all the pre-recorded 3, 2. Now, if the audience is counting at the same time the clock is counting down, then it's pre-recorded because the crowd always speeds it up.
Yep.
Yeah, they always go 3, 2, 1, when there's still like 1 second left.
Oh yeah.
Every time here. So anyway, so if they do stick to Florida rather than be able to go to Hollywood, the Super Bowl attendance is expected to be between 13 and 15,000 fans.
Okay.
WWE, though, they love breaking records. You know that. A new stadium record.
Yeah.
1 million people. Whatever. So I'm just like trying to envision a world where WWE is promoting, we have a sellout arena. Look at all these socially distant sellout crowds.
No, I'm getting like, they come out and they're like, a new bubble record. That guy has 23 people in his bubble. Like, absolutely.
Yeah, I was reading something that that Vince McMahon still wants like a full capacity, that he's really kind of hoping and he's got his fingers crossed that WrestleMania will still be able to pack the house. But I don't think things are going to be clear by then. I don't think it's a political hoax or a stunt that's next week. This is all done. But I do see WWE though trying to cram a few more people in.
Yes.
And maybe they just don't promote that they allowed a few more people in.
Yeah, no, I can see. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're all kind of in that industry. Concerts and events like this will be the last thing to come back.
Yeah.
Like, I hear talk that like the normal like conventions that I do won't be back until fall 2021. Like, who knows? And who knows what it'll look like at that point. But I don't see WrestleMania happening. I hope it happens with like bubbles. That would be fun. And
right. Yeah, especially when the bubbles start like bouncing against each other, like when you pay for that service at the mall, right? You can just like do all these bubble wars. Yeah.
Vince is not getting $70K a month. Is that what it said?
Yeah. Yeah. After the Super Bowl only gets 15. We'll see. We'll see how much longer Florida's allowed to get away with that. But I'm not quite sure anybody wants to be that company right now that, we're going to pack the place. Yeah. And then if there is some sort of outbreak and a lot of people get infected, dying or not, that's not the issue. There's going to be a lot of lawsuits.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we're still seeing that now with just political rallies. Yeah. Like, this outbreak was traced to these 4 people at this rally. You're like, we shouldn't get together. It just isn't a thing.
Yeah. So we'll see. There's still many months away, and Lord knows the world could be radically different in 6 months' time. Good, bad, or somewhere between. I don't know, but it'll be interesting. I'm just trying to imagine a world where WWE is trying to sell out the bubble. That's all. That's. I like to picture that world. All right. So what did I miss? What are like some big topics that I may have missed?
One thing we didn't talk about from Halloween Havoc that I kind of want to bring up was the return of Pete Dunne.
Oh yeah, Pete Dunne. Yeah.
That, and it was beautifully done. If you know the history of Undisputed Era and Pete Dunne, Roderick Strong turned on Pete during the I think it was Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic.
Mm-hmm.
Join Undisputed Era with a very similar chair shot. So him coming out to pretend to help Kyle O'Reilly against Pat McAfee and his guys. And not only that, Pete Dunne looked jacked. Like he'd been working out over in NXT UK when he was stuck over there. So I'm excited to have him back in NXT proper.
And we didn't talk about the costumes either. Gargano and Candice LeRae did the Jack and Sally from Nightmare Before Christmas. Kind of surprised and disappointed that more stars didn't do more.
That's true. No, I agree.
I mean, Shotzi, obviously, she did her part, but there wasn't much from. I wouldn't expect Dexter Lumis, to do that. I don't know much about Damian Priest to know. Do rock stars not like to wear costumes and party? Like, is it too hard to get the costume off before you jump in the hot tub? And I don't know these details.
Oh God. God, what the cruiserweight champion?
Oh, Elgato. I remember his first name. I don't like his new Elvis Samsonite or whatever his name is.
The team is Elgato del Fantasma, but I cannot remember his name. But I know he did the. What did I?
You were talking about the history and history that why this turn that Jaden you're mentioning is because Kyle turned on. Yeah,
it's because but his tribute to Rey Mysterio and his attire, and then them. Yes, Santos Escobar. Thank you, Brian. Completely brain fart out of that.
Elvis Sanchez.
Them kind of doing the skull makeup with the tribute to Rey from Santos. I thought that was cool.
Yeah, I mean,
So some people.
I mean, Seth Rollins did it first, but I mean that's fine.
While he was feuding with Ray, what do you think about the rumor that last year's Survivor Series was NXT heavy.
Mm-hmm.
NXT had a great showing at last year's Survivor Series. This year, not even mentioned in anything. Rumor I heard is because Vince is almost taking a bastard stepchild role to it. And I don't know if it's punishment, but because NXT has not been able up until this week to really have a strong showing against AEW, he doesn't feel that maybe they're ready to be on something like a Survivor Series or to get that kind of exposure. What was your thought on that?
I don't know. I think people are trying to dig a little too deep for something there. People want the drama, so they're predicting the drama, just trying to hope that they're right and our website can finally get on the map. No, if NXT wasn't a part of the draft recently, why would they be a part of Survivor Series?
No, that's true.
And maybe that's because of the drama too. I don't know, but it's like right now it's just consistent. You know, Raw and SmackDown are doing their own thing. NXT's got its own thing going on. And I'm okay with NXT not being invited to party with the big boys because I like what they're doing better.
I almost wonder if it's a health thing where it's more COVID based. The more people you have in the arena, the more people that get invited. And let's be honest, most of WWE's related COVID outbreaks come from the Performance Center and the NXT studio.
Yeah,
so
I can see that. Yeah.
Like they literally just had one again. And I feel like that's probably the reason, more so than a punishment for inferior ratings or whatever.
All right. Nah, it's yeah. I don't imagine all the drama is really the cause behind this stuff. But hey, I don't know. I'm not backstage. I don't know this stuff. And when it comes to NXT, Devon stays out of that, so I don't have him to give me the 411.
Tell him to get involved.
I know. I'm trying. I'm like, we need to get more NXT people. He's like, I don't really know the NXT people. I'm like, come on, Devon.
Talk to someone who does.
Yeah, I know. Make friends. I don't know, genuine. Go ahead, talk to Elvis Sanchez or whatever his name is.
For the love of God, it's Santos Escobar.
Phantasma del Magneto or whatever.
Yeah. Okay, so while we're talking about Vince, apparently it's just been announced on their third quarter call that a new WWE Studios is doing a multi-part documentary on Vince McMahon available on Netflix. Allegedly sparing no expense, it will be one of the highest or most expensive documentaries in Netflix history. Why wouldn't it be on the WWE Network? I assume they want the most exposure they can get out of it if they're putting all this money into it.
Well, it's more exposure. I mean, if you already have the network, you already have the WWE Network, but you're going to get a whole new audience. It's sort of like Total Divas. Total Divas could be on the WWE Network, but you're reaching a different audience by putting it on E.
Yeah. No, for sure.
So I think that's as simple as that, really.
I mean, if this is anything like Last Ride, I really enjoyed that. And that was a well-done documentary. I don't know, does this cover Vince's history? Is this just, we don't know everything yet, but it'll be interesting. I'll probably check it out, but.
Are you sure? Are you sure you check it out? Because, if it's a wrestling item on Netflix, you don't seem to want to watch it.
Well, now that they've been canceled, I don't even know that I need to, right? I mean, do I have to go back?
Wow. And we're talking about Glow, by the way.
Yeah, it's Glow.
You're not aware. So, Nathan's talking about the money from having to pay so many former wrestlers to be talking heads to discuss Vince.
That's where they said they're sparing no expense. I was like, all right, how much does Hogan cost? Like, that's.
I'm curious if they wanted it to be a third-party documentary where there's not a lean or bias towards the WWE, where if you have it on the network, if you have the same people who do the last ride with the Undertaker, you're probably still going to get a favorable lean towards Vince, where this one at least starts in the middle.
That's true. Apparently, it's the same producers as the ones who did the Andre the Giant documentary for HBO.
And that was a really good piece. That was a great documentary.
I haven't seen that yet because I don't have HBO. So
I think it's been available on other things. I don't have HBO either, and I still watched it. So
okay, I'll have to search and see. That I'll watch before Glow.
Although I've been waiting 2 years, Kenny Omega was supposed to be getting one from the same people that did the Andre the Giant one, and they announced it like 2 years ago.
You're right.
So maybe they're still filming him, or they're like, you know what, this guy's boring.
Video games are only so exciting.
It's on DVD, and Ballz, he does know DVDs. I'm glad you didn't say Blu-ray or 4K. He'd have no idea what you were talking about.
Blu-ray I have. 4K, not so much.
You have a Blu-ray?
Yes, I have a Blu-ray player.
I'm not, like, are you talking like a DVD player that you put some blue tape on it and you're like, oh, it's a Blu-ray?
Yes, I wrote the word Ray on it in blue. Yes. Two more
and then
things.
Your 4K, you literally just put 4Ks on it and be like,
yeah.
We got a 4K player.
Not 3Ks. That would be awful.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Okay. Last two things on my mind I think are interesting. Full Gear, AEW, Young Bucks versus FTR. Young Bucks have gone now to say that if they do not win, they will never challenge for the tag team titles again. Now, the interesting part about that is last year at Full Gear, Cody made the exact same claim. So it's a little awkward, a little weird.
Every year.
Every year, someone's like, if I don't win this, I'm never doing it again.
Somebody from the Elite every year.
Right, apparently. And there aren't that many of them. So
no, and then after 5-6 years, after all the Elite guys are done, you got Stephen Amell coming in. I'll never play a superhero again if I lose this match.
Yeah, I just don't see what the point is. Like, their feud is really just getting started. You could say it started on social media years ago, but in AEW, it's really only been going a month or two. And this seems like a large payoff for something that hasn't really been built up. And, Matt and Nick are saying, it's contrast of styles. They're a classic team. We're high flyers. We're trying to set, a new standard. I just think do you think they win? Like, Cody lost, and he did so far, he has not challenged for the World Heavyweight title.
Right.
Do you think the Young Bucks go that route? I mean, FTR hasn't been champs that long. Why would you now pass it to the Young Bucks? So I don't know. It just doesn't make sense to me.
I think the Young Bucks win this one for that reason. So this way, one, it bucks the trend of this stipulation, the people losing, especially because you go back to Tony Khan, who's been very open about, I need to get my executives winning more.
Yeah.
He talks about how they all want to put young stars over Cody and the Young Bucks, and he gets that. He appreciates that they want to do that, but they're stars in their own right, and they need to be presented as stars. And the Young Bucks have some good momentum right now. Yeah. So I think it'd be foolish to take that away from them.
No, I think, and that's exactly what you're seeing right now with Kenny Omega, bringing his cleaner character back, and now he's facing Hangman Page at Full Gear. Their story is kind of coming full circle, so I think that match will be fantastic.
Next year, Full Gear, Kenny Omega loses, he'll never clean again.
No cleaning. Never clean again. No cleaning.
There's a dirty bastard.
And last thing that I saw from over the weekend that I thought was interesting, I want your take on it and see if you maybe know more than I do on it at this point.
Boobs?
No, I'm pretty sure I know quite a bit about that. Impact Wrestling, Bound for Glory. Kylie Ray shows up in Nashville. She's there on Friday. No shows the event on Saturday. They cannot get a hold of her. Su Yung comes back, fills her spot, wins the title. That storyline continues from Deonna Purrazzo. The announcers never really acknowledge Kylie Ray not showing up because to what they say is, what would happen if we said, oh, she was jumped in the back and this is her replacement? If something legit happened to her.
Right. Yeah.
How awful would that be if you're like lying about her being jumped in the back and in backstage and she passed away from some strange cause or something crazy. She's fine. She's apparently spoken with Impact and they're okay. What the hell? And I just think I don't know if it's something with her, because when she debuted for AEW, she was only there for a couple weeks and then she asked Tony Khan for her release.
Mm-hmm.
And then she was gone for a little while, kind of off the indie scene for a little bit, showed up on Impact, had a good momentum. I mean, Su Yung won. So you would have to think that it was in the plans for Purrazzo to lose that title.
Right.
Kylie Ray should be your Impact Women's Champion.
Mm-hmm.
Why? I can't imagine why someone just wouldn't show up.
Well, I'm assuming there is, and I could be wrong. I don't know, but my first thought, my first reaction to all of this was panic attacks, anxiety, some sort of mental health issue that is stopping her from moving forward, that she is damaging herself by doing that. And we've made fun of Lars Sullivan, the internet. We have made fun of Lars Sullivan for having a couple panic attacks over the years and needing some time to work through them. Kylie Ray could be that case, that burnout happened. There could be other stressors in her life that we're not aware of that aren't necessarily justifying the no-show, but there could be a lot of outside factors in that caused this moment. And now she's developing this trend, which could be completely unrelated, her AEW and her Impact behavior.
But, if you're a company, if you're MLW or, an up-and-coming wrestling promotion and you're looking at her, you look at that track record and go, even talking to her and see what she says about it, do you take it at face value, or do you look and go, you left 2 higher profile wrestling companies?
Right.
Like,
I would take her at face value because people do change, and people can get help. I mean, that's the thing is,
if it's something like that, and like if you're definitely going out.
Yeah. So I mean, if she's still good with Impact, if she's talked through it, I say, hey, you talk to her, you give her one more chance. And if this would happen again, then there is obviously an issue.
Yeah.
And you say, hey, we want to work with you as best we can, but what we're doing is not working.
No.
Find that help. Find that outlet. Find that source. Whatever you got to do, get back on track, because mental health is unexplainable. When it's good, it's great, but when it's bad, it can be really bad and really damaging. So, and that's just my guess. We may find out that maybe she gets her sick, twisted kicks out of like, I'm gonna no-show. Maybe that's how she gets off. I don't know. I don't know. Everybody's different. I'm assuming though that there is some sort of anxiety or panic attack that needs to be
the road that I was going down as well.
It needs to be better medicated. She needs to see a better therapist. I don't know. I mean, like it's tough to say because everybody's different, but I'm really hoping whatever this is past and she can move forward, because otherwise, as Brian said, put a black eye on Kylie Ray, I think 3 strikes, you're out. Yeah,
absolutely.
So hopefully she's all right and moves forward, and we look back on this and laugh one day.
Hey, remember that time she no-showed that event?
I do.
Jeff Hardy showed up and went out there wasted. I mean,
knee slapper. If there's anything we missed talking about that we need to talk about here on the show, let us know at Wrestling Audio on the socials. Those of you interacting with us live, thank you for doing so. Appreciate that. Absolutely. Anybody watching on demand, appreciate you as well. And I will talk to you next on Table Talk with Ballz' favorite star, Elias.